I have a second channel, Cube Comp MTDX. Hey everybody. Here you're looking at a Keurig B40 brewer with the bottom sides taken off. This was given to me by a neighbor who was going to get rid of it. Honestly, I don't even think they was aware that it was having an issue. But I believe that the story behind this thing is it sat in storage for quite some time. They used to use it a little bit. It didn't get really heavy use. But they wanted to get rid of it, so I decided I'd take it. Well, I went to try to brew some coffee with it the other day, and, or actually no, I just plugged in and filled up with water and turned on the power button, and I just heard the pump just constantly running. It would run, and eventually the pump would stop and the power light would go off, indicating there was something wrong. So I noticed right away that this thing had a blockage in it. So, getting into this thing is a royal pain in the, well, you know what. Sometimes, it's stuff like this, you just want to find an engineer who designed it and just smack them right upside the head. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole process of how to take this thing apart. I didn't actually film that, but there's another guy on YouTube who does talk about how to get into one of these things, and I'll just post a link to the description, that way you can watch it. So, anyways, I think I have pinpointed the problem with this thing. So, I did some checking around. I popped some hoses loose, so there's some hoses that are disconnected right now. This thing has, I think, 2 check valves in it. This one right here, I think is a check valve or a filter of some sort, and I checked it and it's flowing just fine. But the check valve that is located right up inside here, and it's not in there right now because I pulled it. It will go up right inside there. If you take the bottom off your Keurig, you'll probably see it. I think some newer Keurig units have this check valve in a different spot, but on this one it was right up inside there. And it's located, I got it right here right now, kind of disassembled. So, what happens is, see, the check valve, the way it's supposed to work, is supposed to allow water to flow one direction, but not allow it to flow the other direction. Well, this thing was jammed. It was jammed shut. So the pump could not flow any water up through here, nor would it allow it to actually come back through there, through this way. So it's supposed to not allow flow this way, but it's supposed to allow flow this way. It has a little spring and a little valve that opens up. So I'll demonstrate it. So I can blow through it and it opens up, but if I try to suck through it, nothing happens. It's working properly now, but earlier it was not. It was just jammed. It was jammed shut. So what I did to get to the freaking thing was I pulled out this silicone tube, and it actually runs up inside the thing and around through here, more or less. It makes a little journey. Oh, excuse me, it actually stops right up here. There's actually a coupler right here. I'm sure you can see that. There's a coupler right there. I disconnected it right there, and I was able to pull the check valve and this tube down and out of this thing. And I did go ahead and unscrew the mounts for the pump. That way I could get easier access to this piece right here. So yeah, it goes up right inside here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just pop this back together. So essentially you have this lock ring. It pops on right here. And it's kind of tough to get on there. It's kind of tough to get off, so take your time with it, and it will eventually come right. It will eventually come right off. And be careful not to tear this silicone tubing, because it is kind of fragile. You don't want to tear it up. Otherwise, you'll be hoping you could probably find other ways these on the internet. And in that case, your mileage may vary. I haven't even looked, so. Okay, the ring has been put back into place, and this check valve is now functioning like it's supposed to. So I'm pretty sure once I get this thing back together, it's going to work like it's intended to. But yeah, as I mentioned, getting into this thing is a bit of a chore. It's a lot of work. Like I say, whoever designed these things, somebody needs to smack them, because there's no sense in making something so complicated in design. I'm specifically referring to the outer shell. There are several clips in here that you got to get at, and they're nearly impossible to get to. Okay, so the check valve is fixed. So I'm going to put this thing back together and we'll do a quick little test. Now I'm sorry I didn't get you a full teardown of this thing, but as mentioned, I'll link into the description of the video of somebody else explaining in detail how to get this thing open. But if your Keurig, when you go to start it, if your Keurig is having issues getting water, where it's not even sucking water down at all, and it's getting water to the pump, it's just not able to pump it, it's pretty likely that your check valve is jammed. I'm telling you, I've seen patient monitored equipment that have less tubing and components than this thing. This thing reminds me of something that a biomedical technician will be working on. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. It's literally that complicated. Okay, so I'm going to get this thing back together. Okay, so it's working. I plugged it in, filled it up with water, pressed the power button, and it was up to here, and actually it sucked the water down to about here, and the heating element is on right now, so it's actually working. This is amazing. That's all it was that check valve was plugged up. So if you happen to have one of these machines, perhaps that could be your problem if it's not wanting to take water. This is my very first time ever using this thing, so right now what it's doing is it's actually heating up the water. I don't have a K-cup or anything in it right now, but I'm going to do a test brew here in just a moment. Get some extra light here. Okay, it's ready to go. I'm going to set this mug right here. It's my first time ever using this thing, so I'm going to select the first. I guess I better go ahead and set a cup in there. I'm going to use this one right here, which is the My K cup. It's the one you can put your own coffee grounds in. Just like new. And of course I don't have an actual K-cup in it right now. I just got a this is an empty cup. I think it works great. Can't wait to use it tomorrow morning. Sure was a pain in the butt to repair, but hey, I managed to figure it out, so I'm happy about that. Well, everybody, that's it for this video, but don't forget there's a lot more interesting stuff on the channel to check out. Also, if this is your first time visiting this channel, feel free to subscribe to Keurig channel, and also don't forget to tick the bell so that way you'll get notified of new video posts. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, but if you really didn't like it, there is the alternative option available as well. Also, feel free to check out my second channel, CubeComp MTDX. There you'll find videos about bicycling, weather, elevator tours, and all sorts of other neat, interesting stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to come back, and thank you for your support.